Hi students, good morning everybody. Welcome to biology class. And today in this class we'll discuss about the new topic that is regarding hormones in animals. The last previous classes we studied hormones in plants, and you all learned that in plants the growth is directional because of the hormones. Okay? Yes. Whereas that means in plants the growth is directional. How you can say that the growth in plant is a directional? The plant bends towards to the light because of excessive stimulation of the oxygens in the darker side. In the same way, the root grows downwards. This is a directional growth. Okay, positive geotrophism. So the another one you studied that chemotropism. Due to the chemicals, pollen grains, they direct towards to the female system. That's also the directional movement. With all these examples, and you can say that in plants the growth is a directional. But whereas coming to the animals, the growth is not a directional in an animals. Okay? In human beings especially, the growth occurs simultaneously. When during an embryonic stage itself, the growth simultaneously takes place by the influence of the hormones. Okay, yes. So, to understand clearly about this hormones, we'll start this particular topic with one example. Okay, let me share that example. I hope you all know that the squirrel. Squirrel is in a scary situation. Squirrel is in scary situation. Why the squirrel got here the scary situation means maybe enemy is trying to attack the squirrel or catch the squirrel. So now what the squirrel has to do to escape from the scary situation? Either it has to run away from that situation or it has to fight. I hope you got my point. The squirrel is in a scary situation. To escape from that scary situation, squirrel has to either run away from that situation or it has to fight with that particular situation. Okay? Yes. To fight this particular situation or to run away from that situation, the squirrel needs an extra boost of that energy. How it gets an extra energy to run away from that means with the help of an hormone. With the help of an hormone, squirrel enable to ready for that particular situation, either to fight or either to escape from that situation. Okay, yes, let me say that which hormone it is helping that. So before going deep into this, if you start this particular lesson with an example and you get an idea that how the hormones are playing a role to face that particular situation and in the development and in the growth, it will be more clear for you. Okay, yes. So now the squirrel is in the scary situation. The answer for this is either it has to fight or it has to run away from that particular situation. What makes a squirrel to do this too? Okay, there is a hormone called as adrenaline. Okay, this hormone is released by the gland called as an adrenal gland. Okay, this gland is fourth gland in the endocrine system. Okay, this adrenal gland, where it is present means it is present in the top of the kidney. This releases an hormone, that hormone named as an adrenaline. Okay, yes. Whenever this hormone it releases, so where it releases the hormones means it directly releases the hormone into the blood. Directly the hormone is released into the blood. Not only this adrenal gland, all the adrenal glands directly they releases hormone into the blood streams. From the blood streams, wherever it is necessary, and it carries or it goes and it shows the function on the specific area or the specific site. That particular site we'll call it as a target area or the target site. Okay, yes. As this adrenal gland releases this hormone called as adrenaline directly into the blood, just now I said it has to reach to the target area, the target tissue. What is the target tissue here means? The target tissue is heart. Okay, whenever this adrenaline reaches to the heart, heartbeat it will be increases. Heartbeat it will be faster. Okay, when the heartbeat will be the faster, then what will happen? It supplies more oxygen to skeletal muscles. Okay children, just like as a flow chart I am explaining. Here the hormone is an adrenaline hormone and directly releases into the blood, and from the blood it directs to the target tissue. Here the target tissue is a heart. As a result, what will happen? Heartbeat, it will be the faster. Heartbeat will be the faster. When heartbeat will be the faster, what will happen? More oxygen supply it will be done. It reaches to the muscles or the skeletal muscles, we can say. Okay, whenever more oxygen is supplied to the skeletal muscles, obviously other parts, they will not receive the oxygen. What are those parts? Means digestive system and skin will not receive the oxygen a fraction of a second. Less oxygen otherwise. If it will not releases, if you say maybe how the function it will be takes place, you may ask. Okay, the less oxygen supply it diverts to the digestive system and the skin, as more oxygen is supplied to the skeletal muscles. Okay, yes. So here it reaches to the digestive system and the skin. Why it is directed to the more to the skeletal muscles, less to the digestive system, means because of this particular hormone, what will happen due to the contraction of the muscles around the small arteries which are present in the digestive system and the small system, what will happen? It will contracts. When it contracts, the blood it will be reaches to the more to the skeletal muscles. Okay, yes. When the blood reaches more to the skeletal muscles, immediately what will happen means the breathing rate it will be increases. Why this breathing rate it will be increases means because the diaphragm and the rib muscles will be the contract. Okay, I hope you got a point. Let me say once again. The hormone which is released by the adrenal gland is an adrenaline. This hormone directly releases into the blood. From the blood it diverts to the target tissue, and it moves to the target tissue. Here the target tissue is a heart. Okay, as a result of this adrenaline, heart movement, the movements in the heart it will be the faster. Okay, because of the fast movement, what will happen? More oxygen supply it will be sent to the skeletal muscles, and the reduced oxygen levels it will be sent to the digestive system and the skin. Why the less amount is sending here means because of the contraction of the small arteries which are present in the around this the two system. So this makes the breathing rate to be takes place faster or the more. Okay, whenever the breathing rate it will be the more. Why the breathing rate it will be more? Or because of this breathing rate, what will happen means the diaphragm and the rib muscles it comes down, so the breathing rate it will be increases faster. So this particular system, this particular entire process enables the squirrel to fight with the enemy or run away from with the enemy. If it runs simple, it can't survive from the enemy. It has to go fast run. Okay, if you fight simple and it cannot survive, it has to go for the strong movement. To face this the difficult situations, and the squirrel needs the more energy for the run and more energy for the fight. And this too it will be done with the action of this adrenaline hormone. I hope it is clear for you. Just I'll give all these points in the key points, which is by giving an arrow marks, and then you please read that and it will be clear for you. In your textbook it is given by like a paragraph, and just go like this. Adrenaline and directed to the blood, and the target tissue is a heart, and heartbeat will be the faster, and this gives the more oxygen to the muscles, and it reduces the oxygen levels to the digestive system and the skin, because this around that particular system the arteries it will be gets contract, and as a result the breathing rate it will be increases more. Okay, once the breathing rate it will be increases more, and how will the breathing rate increases means by pulling of the diaphragm and the what you can call as a rib muscles. As a result, then what will happen? The squirrel is ready to face a dangerous situation, that is either fight or fly away from the situation. Okay, children, because of this particular readiness, the adrenal gland is called as fight or flight gland. Okay, Is it this exam? Is it clear for you? We'll study more points when you are discussing individually the glands, and then many points we'll study regarding the adrenal gland. Okay, yes. So children, that's it about how the squirrel is the facing the scary situation whenever that has the dangerous thing. Okay, either it's a fight or the flight. Okay, yes. Let me say that how this adrenal or gland it will be producing the adrenaline hormone. What are these? If you come to this particular point, and all these glands, we'll call it as an endocrine glands. Okay, we call it as endocrine glands, and these endocrine glands are also called as ductless glands. Okay children, in the first topic you studied, there are two important digestive glands. What are they? They are liver and then pancreas. Okay, the liver and the pancreas, they'll open into the digestive system through the ducts. Okay, the one is, for example, if you say that, let me rub this particular point, and what are these, the ducts in the digestive system, let me explain that. So if you see, this is an alimentary canal, and then this is the stomach. Okay, yeah, we can see this particular part. Okay, yes, U-shaped tube is called as an duodenum. This is an duodenum part. Okay, yes. So above the gland is pancreas. See, this pancreas, liver, sorry, and this it will be open into the duct. This is an duct, and so, and it is connected with the liver. Okay, yes. And so the next one is the below the gland. The below this we can see the pancreas. See again, this is a duct. Okay, yeah, this is a pancreas. So like that, these two glands we'll call it as duct glands. In the digestive system, liver and pancreas are called as an duct glands. Whereas coming to this endocrine glands, these glands are ductless the glands. Okay, endocrine glands are ductless glands, and how they will be attached means they directly attaches to the particular parts wherever it is present. That's the reason these glands are called as an ductless glands, we can say. Okay, yes. For example, okay, then let me say the remaining points. What these ductless glands will do, they releases the chemicals, and these chemicals will name it as an what is it called as hormones. Okay, where they releases these chemicals means they release these chemicals into the blood. Okay, how much amount of these chemicals will be released? That it releases 1/10 lakhs of millimicrons, very minute, 0.000 it comes. 1/10 lakhs of millimicrons. Of course, even though if it is a millimicron, its play or its role, it will be the great. Okay, yes. So, and this millimicrons, the hormone it releases into the blood. Okay, yes. How this millimicrons hormone it will be work out means, if it is more and the people we suffer with the disease called as an excess disease conditions, some abnormalities, the disorders we will study. Okay, if it is a less, we can consider it is an deficiencies, we can say. The deficiency results many diseases. Excess results the disease conditions, and the deficiencies results the disease conditions. But our system has to maintain the exact the quantity of the hormone, that is 1/10 lakhs of millimicrons of the hormones. Okay, yes. So even though this hormone is directly released into the blood, I already said that particular point, it has to be direct, and it has to be sent to the specific area and the specific part and the specific region. So that particular region they named it as a target tissue. That means it will not show its function even though it releases into the blood. It travels to that specific site, and there it shows the function, and then it starts its work, and that's the reason that particular area we call it as a target tissue. Okay, yes. Well, actually, this how these hormones are helping. How these hormones are helping means they're helping in to maintain our metabolic rates. That's involved in the secretions of all the metabolic activities under the control of the hormones. Growth of the human beings under the control of the hormones. Maintenance of the temperature. Secretions of the milk after the birth, childbirth. Okay, and development of this secondary sexual characteristic features in a human beings, that depends upon the hormonal levels. So they act like as a messengers. It acts like as a messenger in between the cell to cell and in between the tissues to tissues, and overall coordination. The overall coordination of the human body, it will be carried out by the endocrine system. And that's what I told already in the beginning of the topic. When we have the one system that is called as nervous system, and why the human beings are opting, why the animals are opting other system that is called as an endocrine system. Okay, nervous system shows influences only for the external areas, but whereas coming to this an endocrine system, it shows its influences for the deeper regions as they are located in the deeper areas. Okay, just now I said kidneys. Where are the kidneys? They're in the deeply they're situated and then either sides of the vertebral column. For example, if you come to this pituitary gland is situated in the deeper part inside the skull. There is a brain and ventral side of the brain, and with the help of the hypothalamus, with the help of the stalk, it is attaches to the brain. So they are very deeply situated. Okay, all these parts under the control of this endocrine system. That is the reason the human beings are opting and second system that's called endocrine. Okay, yes. How many glands are present in this endocrine system? How they will work out? Let me explain. Okay, there are nearly 8 different glands we have to study in this particular syllabus. The first gland is the pituitary gland, and the second is thyroid gland, and third one is the parathyroid gland. Fourth is an adrenal gland, and we also have to study the pancreas. Even this pancreas is, we call it as, it is an digestive gland, and in the same way, and this digestive gland means we can say these two glands are called as an exocrine glands. Exocrine. Okay, this what are that the liver and the pancreas. This short note is important, children. What are the exocrine glands? Name the exocrine glands, and what the exocrine glands all the time they produces enzymes. Okay, they secretes the enzymes. Whereas coming to these endocrine glands, they release only the hormones. Okay, they used to ask, name the exocrine glands enzymes and write its function, and name the endocrine glands the hormones and write it glands, and these two are released. Enzymes as well as hormones are released by this special gland, this called as an pancreas. That is the reason this gland is given named mixed gland. That means half of the part is acting like as an exocrine and it's releasing enzymes. Half of the part is acting like as an endocrine and it releasing hormones. Okay, when I am explaining, when you are going deep into that, and there we'll study clearly. Okay, yes. So then the fifth gland is, I said this pancreas, and pancreas is called as a mixed gland, and we have to study about gonads. Okay, and what are these gonads means? And gonads are nothing but just we can say testes and an ovaries. Female reproductive organ and the male reproductive organs we have to study. Okay, along with that the special gland is given pineal gland, and this is also present in the brain. And the hypothalamus also we have to study here. It's not a gland, and hypothalamus also it's located in the brain. So all these glands we have to study. Okay, children, let me explain about the first gland. The first gland is pituitary gland. Okay, let's come into this pituitary gland, and this gland is called as master gland. Okay, what's the name is given to this gland? This is called as master of endocrine orchestra. Okay, why this is called as master of endocrine orchestra? I hope you know about the orchestra. Whenever the people are singing, that presenting the songs, we can see the different instruments it will be present around the singer. Okay, violin, casio, tabla, whatnot. All these are things. In the corner, master will stand. And what the master will do, he will do like this actions. And when he do like this and then show that, and they will start playing the instrument. So that master is influencing the entire the team people. Okay, exactly like that, and this pituitary gland will do the same function. It influences all other glands as well as the body. That is the reason the pituitary gland is known as master of endocrine orchestra. Got it? Yes. What is the size of this gland? Means small, peanut, very small, no? The peanut size of the gland, and it is present at the ventral side of the brain. Okay, and what is its main function? Its main function, it regulates the growth and the development of the body. And pituitary gland, if you see, it has 3 lobes. Okay, this is an additional point. It is not given in your the textbook. Just please keep in your mind, as they use the word, they may ask. Okay, how many lobes are present in this the pituitary gland? Means it has 3 lobes, even the small peanut. The first one is an anterior lobe, second is a middle lobe, and the third one is a posterior lobe. Just you remember like that, anterior, middle, and the posterior lobe. Okay, yes. Along with that, and this pituitary gland releases the different hormones. Okay, children, let me explain list out the hormones. In the online class, I will say what are the function of this particular hormones. Okay, the first hormone is GH hormone. The full form of this GH is the growth hormone. Okay, yes. And the second one is TSH hormone. Okay, the full form is thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, yes. So the next one is LH. LH, it is luteinizing hormone. Okay, and fourth one is FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, children. Okay, children, this is also for you the additional information. This will be useful for you in the higher classes, plus 1 and plus 2. Okay, and this one is ACTH. ACTH means adrenocorticotrophic hormone. Okay, yes. And along with that, we have to study about the vasopressin, prolactin, and 8th one is lactocin. Children, in name wise, this is it's not mentioned in your textbook. GH is given, and vasopressin it is explained, lactocin and prolactin is explained, and this TSH and LH it will be comes in the form of the words. Don't think that this is not there in the textbook. Okay, if you read each and every paragraph, line in the paragraph, you will come across all these things. Okay, GHH. Let me say once again, and I will close this. GH means growth hormone, and next one is a TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. If the pituitary gland is not there, and thyroid stimulations will not occur. So that is the reason pituitary gland is influencing even thyroid. Okay, and next one is luteinizing hormone. This is pituitary gland influencing the testes and the ovaries. Okay, and the next one is ACTH, adrenocorticotrophic hormone. Pituitary gland is there on the top of the head, but it's showing the influences in the top of the kidney. The gland is called adrenal gland. Okay, the vasopressin. This is it helps to control the sugar levels, and next one is prolactin. And the pregnant woman needs this particular hormone for the development of the attachment of the embryo towards to the walls of the uterus. Okay, and also for the ascension of the milk after the childbirth. Okay, this lactocin is also useful for the female reproductive system during the time of the pregnancy. So like that, the pituitary gland is playing an overall role to influence all other glands and all other parts which are present in the body. That's the reason they're given the title Master of Endocrine Orchestra. Okay children, that's all for today, and stay safe at home, and don't forget, prepare well for your CT exam. I will send all these points. Please write in the key book. And I'm very happy to announce and say that I gave an activity, but very few children responded very fastly. The first one who responded is Kolla Srinivas. Excellent activity he did, and even the Ganesh and Vishwa and Manishankar and Surya. Only these 5 children they responded. Of course, if anybody, even Saveri also, she spoke with regarding this. If anybody I forgot, please let me check it, and I'll forward this information in the group. Please take your time and submit the good activity to me. That's all for today. Have a nice day.